have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
Going to be the bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Hojo! I learned my lesson from last time. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day.
I'm here to give you a favor.
Gents. As you say, later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like one of our draw streams, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Pow! Yes! Yes, guys! It is Sunday. It is Sunday, guys. This means another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their books and their campaigns, because frankly, I'm kind of bored with mainstream. Mainstream kind of sucks. Guys, and indie is where the passion is. all right, guys. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and a nice Sunday. My weekend is fantastic. It's great. I am running a campaign on Kickstarter for the Perfection Collection, guys, which is the trade paperback of the first 6 issues of the Perfect 10 series. The first 6 issues are combined in a massive book, the Perfection Collection. We are now on Kickstarter for 1 week. We're doing great. Thank you all so much. So it's so good. It's so good, guys. And plus, guys, this weekend I've been writing. I had this creative streak, guys. I can't wait to continue to write. After the show, I'll continue. I'm working on this epic fantasy tale, and suddenly yesterday things just came together, like things clicked, and I was like, holy shit. So I started writing yesterday, and I never stopped. So yeah. Really, really cool stuff, guys. Cool stuff. All right. Let's see who's with us in the chat today. It is Pops. It is Pops. Welcome, Pops. Guys, we are broadcasting through the Madness Entertainment Group. So this means multiple channels. Thanks to Pops right here. Thank you, Pops, and welcome. Marinus, welcome, Marinus. Hail, Dave and Vinnie. Yes, Vinnie, the guest for today, is waiting in the back room. I'll bring him in a few minutes. Welcome, Marinus. Nice to see you, man. Mike says, congratulations on an awesome first week on Kickstarter, Dave, and a great launch for Vinnie. Thank you, Mike, and nice to see you. Welcome. Let me see. Marinus was a little bit sick. But Marinus is way better. That's good to know. Ravik, yes, Ravik. That's. Look, guys, I am just one guy. I can only do so much, and I always want to do this fantasy tale. I didn't really know what it was. I just knew I wanted to dip my toes into fantasy. And this is it. This just clicks for me. It has everything that I want. It's so cool, and it's massive. It's a very, very big project, but it's really fun to work on. All right, guys, let's share out this stream. Let's get some more people in, because we have a fantastic guest. It's a new guest, never been on the show before, which is awesome. So I can introduce you to new people and new people to you, right? All right, guys, let's do this. Let's bring him on. Let's see if I have everything set up. I think that I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I have a very warm welcome for the guest of the hour, Mr. Vinnie Tartamella.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Dave. Yeah, I like your energy. You're always good, man. Awesome stuff.
Woo! Yes, man. Why haven't you been on my show before? Because everyone
I don't
knows
know.
you. I've heard of you like years ago. I bought your
Yeah.
books, so
I think I have the first issue. I think of Perfect 10 as well. You
you
know,
do.
it's yeah. There's a lot that's been going on. A lot of stuff over the years between working on the books,
Yeah.
family, personal stuff, you name it, freelance work. So yeah, I've been kind of spread out a little bit, but last couple of years because of taking care of some family issues and things, I just kind of kept my blinders on because there's too much crazy stuff, too much drama, too much stupid stuff. I love the work. I love the projects. I love creating. That's where my focus is. That's what I thought all the indie stuff was going to be. But, a lot of people turn into YouTube stuff. I don't care about that. I care about awesome projects, cool creators, hanging out with good people. Because as we were saying before we even started, it's like life's too nuts. Let's have a good time and get away from some of the madness for a little bit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's comics. You make comics to offer people a little escape. Just 15 minutes. You read your comic. You're having fun, and then life. They can get back to life.
Yeah.
And Mike says, cheers, talented Vinnie.
Thank you.
And Marinus is here. Woo, Vinnie.
Hey, buddy.
No drama. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. All right.
That's great.
Vinnie, there's this official question that I need to ask every guest before we start.
Okay.
Which is, what are you drinking?
Right now it's water. It's 2 in the afternoon, so
I know, man. It's too early. It's too early. I know, but still, All right. Wait, I have my banner ready. There we go. It's almost professional over here.
Nice,
as you can see.
Good stuff.
All right, man. Vinnie, we all can see you are a very talented artist. You're even drawing right now, are you?
Yeah, I'm always drawing. I'm doing something,
Yeah,
I do it all. I do it all from writing, drawing, inking, coloring, lettering. I'm like a one-man kind of band.
That is crazy, right? I'm curious to know how it all began. So it looks like you went to some sort of art school, or are you completely self-taught?
Nope.
What's the story?
100% self-taught.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny too. I met Stan Lee when I was young. I was in high school. I always loved comic books. I gotten like a fever or something when I was a kid. I was in bed, and one of my cousins came over and took one of my brothers to a comic shop. I couldn't go. I was bummed. So they got me a bunch of stuff, and I just started falling in love with all these books. Some of the first stuff that I got was McFarlane's Spider-Man. I told this story too when I was on Dan Frager's a long time. Oh no, when he was on my channel, I think. I go, yeah, it was the issue. It was one of the Amazing Spider-Mans where Captain America was on the cover. He had the shield, and Spider-Man was crawling behind them. And he turned around and goes, "You mean this book?" He had it right there. So I was like, yes, that's one of the first comic books that that I got that I owned, that I didn't just read someone else's. I was like, yes, and I was sucked into those pages. I love the art style, and from there I just kept on getting things. Batman '89 came out, and I was like became like a Batman fanatic too. And come to find out, my father knew the creator of Batman. He used to cut his hair.
What?
Yes. Crazy. Yeah, Bob Kane. Yeah, my father knew him when my father came from the old country to America. And he was working in this barber shop, and he couldn't believe it either, because my father never kept up with any of that stuff. He wasn't into comics. He wasn't into all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
And,
so how did your father figure that out? Did they talk about it while he was cutting his hair?
Yeah. Actually, they were talking about the TV series, And
Oh,
because I think Bob was going to move to California or something, and he goes, he was trying to tell my father, yeah, you should buy some stock. My father didn't know anything. He never put it together. I don't know what this stuff is because I just came from the old country. He was like 16, 17.
yeah.
He was getting little doodles and things, Christmas cards and like gifts like that. And he would just, oh, thank you. And he throw it away. He'd just take the tip. And he like, that's how my father was. He never collected anything. So as years went by and he found out how big Batman became, and then the movie hit, like we went to go see it. And that's the first time he actually saw everything. And he goes, oh shit, Alfred was the name of the guy who owned the barbershop. Like he was putting all these things together. Like he could
Oh,
have,
really?
yeah,
Alfred. Oh, the name Alfred was based on this real guy.
yeah, on a real guy. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it's wild. Some of this stuff I was like, I couldn't believe it, but yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
I didn't even know that Bob Kane was a hairdresser.
Was what?
That he was a hairdresser.
No, he
hair-
wasn't. No. He lived in New York, and that's my father. He started working at this barbershop, and one of the customers was Bob Kane. So Bob would come in like every week or every 2 weeks or something.
Oh,
So that's how my
okay.
father got to know him a little bit.
Right.
So yeah,
Ah.
it's wild. But yeah, some of the people in the shop, like just the people that he knew, he started putting their names and stuff into these books. Although we did find out later, Bill Finger was involved with a lot of other creations, but that's a whole other story.
Wow, he got a raw deal, huh? Bill Finger.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
I think his daughter's doing all right now.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, there was some legal vows from what I understand, but yeah.
So you got exposed to the art of Todd McFarlane and some other people and
Yeah.
comic books, and that got you inspired to want to draw yourself.
Oh yeah. And then like the boom of all those guys, the Jim Lees, Mark Silvestri,
Mhm.
over the years. And then I met Stan Lee. They were opening up like a little like art museum, like a comic book art museum, when I was in high school, near where I lived. So we went down there. I got to meet him for the first time. I cut the line. I didn't have anything to sign. I just wanted to show him my work.
Mhm.
And it didn't even hit me because we heard it was just a seminar. We didn't know he was going to do a signing afterwards. And I never been to any like big conventions at that time. So yeah, I just went with my stuff, hoping to run into him. So the people, yeah, go ahead. They let me cut the line just to meet Stan, show him my work, and he was like, "You do great work, kid." He goes, at the time, Marvel was on their way out. They fell off the stock market. All the horrible shit was going on. He was saying that if the Spider-Man movie did well, because they just sold some rights for the X-Men stuff, because if Spider-Man takes off, because there's a good chance things could get a little bit better again. But yeah, Marvel, people seem to forget this. They were almost done. They were ready to sell off characters. And I can confirm that too after I'll tell you my work history after that. But yeah, and he goes, yeah, you should go to the other guys. You should go to DC. That's what he told me. Because he goes, Marvel, I don't think they're going to be around if this doesn't take off. So like I was like in shock. I'm like, geez. But he goes, keep doing what you're doing, kid. So over the years, I kept doing more work. And then yeah, when I graduated high school, we saw there was like this little ad in the comic book, in the back of a Spawn comic book, that they were looking for creators and stuff. So I sent some of my work and went for an interview, and I ended up working for McFarlane. I didn't leave. I went up for the interview, stayed with some family, and yeah, I was traveling back and forth from New York to New Jersey to go to the studio. It was crazy until I finally found a place over there. But
Man, that must have been such a moment in your life that you got to work for the guy who got you into art.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. One of my heroes, and it was kind of hilarious too, because I keep telling people, if anyone remembers Mr. Rogers when he went on those field trips, it kind of felt like that, where it's at first it's all this excitement, it's cool, look how everything's being made, being part of it. I was creating lines for him. And then it starts to sour. You start to see as the curtain gets pulled back, and you're like, "Oh, that's what this is." Oh yeah, a lot of.
Okay, so first off, how did that go? You got the job, so you got to work for McFarlane.
I got the job. I went in for the interview.
Yeah.
I was only supposed to be like a trial for a little bit, and I ended up like clearing out the desk of. There are two brothers who were running that studio, and like the guy had mountains of papers everywhere, things that weren't fully designed, a whole bunch of crap. And within like a week and a half, like more than half of his desk got cleaned off because I was doing all these drawings. I was setting up the next line of figures, and you're like, we're just going to keep this guy on. He's too good. And that's, I stayed there for over maybe a year and a half, but I had like 3 or 4 years worth of work that continuously came out because of everything I had drawn. And shit, even up until this past year, he's using my stuff again. So I have a design I did from almost 20 years ago. The spawn on the blood axe on the horse. He just re-released that, and you could buy that in GameStop. I think it's still in GameStop. And then his Kickstarter, the medieval spawn, some of my design work is on that piece, like the giant shield with the skull on it. That's my work, so because it's on file, they could still use it.
Sure.
So, it's
because it was basically work for hire, right? So it's now theirs. They can do with that.
Basically, yeah, because I was in studio, so whatever work you did, like we put it in files. We put it like, okay, here's the spawn section. Here's whatever other property that he had. So we'd always Xerox copies, so they'd always have something on file as well. Because we've done that before. We'll go back and go, okay, we didn't this year. We didn't have time to do this line of figures. Maybe we'll take these out and rework them, and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I designed a bunch of stuff from working with Kiss. To what's his face, Clive Barker. I was responsible for wave 2 of the Tortured Souls because like Todd, he didn't want to do them
toys
anymore.
You mean
the toys? Yeah.
Oh, really? You designed the toys?
Yep. I designed years worth of toys for him.
Holy shit!
Yeah. The big one that I did was the spawns, the Viking, the Dark Age stuff, because I did the entire wave. It was like 6 figures plus the spawn on the horse, so that'd be 7. And we had 2 different versions of each of those because we had a store over here called KB Toy Store, and they wanted variants. So we'd have either like a different head or different armor pieces and brand new paint jobs. So it's like double the line that you were basically collecting. It wasn't just one line. It was instead of the 6 figures, it was the 12 plus again the one on the horse. So
sure.
So 13.
That's crazy. Mike
cool
says
stuff.
Clive Barker's horror is awesome horror, says Mike. Yeah. So was that why you were hired to do these designs for statues?
Yep. Drawings. Yep.
Right.
All the drawing stuff. Yeah. It was interesting. Some of it was fun. Some of it was a little bit of a pain, but I'd say probably the hardest property to work on was I think it was working with Gene Simmons on Kiss, because I was never really into their stuff. Like there was like 2 or 3 songs I liked, but
yeah.
I don't want to say on there. He's not that easy to work with. I'll put it that way. But everything else was always smooth. We had no problems. Like whatever I was designing, it was pretty amazing. But Todd was in Arizona and we were in Jersey, so we kind of do like the first version of like the webcams. So there's a lot of times it just wouldn't work. Other times it'd be on. We'd see the room. He'd be sitting on the floor, kind of playing with his figures. Like like Todd, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Like he couldn't hear us. Like it was wild. But like once or twice a year, he would come. He would fly in and come to the studio, but he hated it. He absolutely hated it because Jersey, if anyone's been, you could understand why. The commute is kind of, it's a pain in the ass because they were like up in the sticks, up, it's kind of empty, hick type town, because it was cheap. It was cheap. So I was like, oh, that's what they want. That's a place that they found. So he would have to go from, usually he'd fly in around, like he'd show up in Manhattan because he had other business to do, and then they drive him in, and he wasn't crazy about it, but that's when he first saw some of my drawings like in person, and I purposely left it. I had a couple of the Tortured Soul ones because we were talking in studio. They go, this line did really well, but Todd doesn't want to cough up the money to pay Clive again, because on the first batch of stuff, Clive really didn't have any involvement, and I could confirm he didn't have involvement in series 2 either. We got like a green light on stuff, but each character basically we'd have a demented looking tortured soul person, whatever, and each one that you open up, there was like a little insert where there was like a story, and those stories all connect. So if you got all 6 figures, you'd have the full story of how this all played out. Clive did not write those, and a lot of people think that he did. He did not. So yeah, so that's the other reason why. Sorry, I'm it's been years, so I guess I could say it don't matter. But yeah, so I'm the guy who got it all kind of kicked off. I had like one of the first characters, and if you see them, they're very demented looking, where the guy was like, he had his arms kind of like pierced through, his whole innards were kind of coming out. In fact, it was so bad when we got to the final sculpt, we had to put like a mask over his face so that they could have it in the toy store. Because KB Toy Store still had like, they had the license stuff for it, so where they were carrying all of that. And yeah, certain figures had to be kind of like, they had to cover it up, sort of. So
did they allow you to basically do anything you want with these designs, or did you get some guidelines?
Well, we had a little bit of back and forth on a couple of characters. So the really grotesque stuff, they seemed to be okay with. Once I started delving into a different realm, they were getting upset. And I'm like, this makes no sense, because everybody knows, you know, Clive Barker, he's gay. There's no big deal, whatever. So I
didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, most people did. But so I had 2 women sewn together. And it was a really cool looking piece. I had the sculptors fighting over who wanted to sculpt it. I'm like, oh, this is great. And they go, we can't do this. I'm like, why not? It's like nothing was showing, because they were like in an embrace. I had them, they were kneeling down and facing each other, but sewn together. And then I had all the other kind of the Cenobite type things, you know, like with the peeled skin and all that, and the rings and hooks and all that stuff. And they said, we can't do that. And I was like, why not? Isn't that part of, you know, what his background is and stuff too? And I thought it would look good, and that makes sense. They're tortured souls. You know, it worked perfectly. Everybody was furious inside the studio. They're like, how come we can't do this? They were flipping out. So I had to do a bunch of redesigns. Then it became a guy and a girl. Then I did like a goof thing. And I think the goof one is the one that actually, I think they ended up making that one, where we basically, that one, I'm no exaggeration, maybe 50 different drawings to get this thing where they wanted. But the last one, I'm like, you know what? I'll just do something stupid. So I had them cut in half. I had one half was a girl, one half was a guy, and they were sewn together at the waist. It was so stupid, but I'm like, so there's like 3 designs that I'm proud of that still, like, it retained what it was from the original drawing. There was one that she's like, I kind of did like an angel thing, but her back was like peeled, and instead of a halo, she had a buzzsaw through her head. And that's what made the halo.
You really need to delve in like the darkest depths of your imagination to create these things, right?
So here's the quote. When Todd came in and he saw the first drawing, because it was up to him. Ultimately, he's the one who decided. So when he came in, he goes, you got some sick fucks working here. Let's do it. So my drawing sold it to Todd.
Great. That's fantastic.
But
is horror also something you like to do, or do you prefer other themes?
I like a little bit of everything. I mean, I grew up with all that stuff, you know, Freddy Krueger, you know, Friday the 13th, all that type of thing. But I like good storytelling too. You know, I like big epics. I like adventure. I like science, history. So I have a lot of things going on. And for people who have been buying my books, a lot of them know I have a connecting universe. So it's not just that, like, you'll see, okay, here's Through the Woods, here's a cool ghost story, kind of. It almost feels like a contained kind of thing, where it could be just like a movie, you know, and it makes sense because it's cinematic how I did the approach, I think. I came up with the original story, the concept, all the artwork, and then I worked with my brother Frank on that, because we sort of developed the main characters like a long time ago together. So after I did the first draft, I sent it to him. And I said, what do you think? I said, I think I want to do at least a mini series or something. and he really liked it. But he goes, at the end, we kind of switched it. So it was going to be more of a gory horror kind of story. And then we went more ghost instead, just in case. We didn't want to alienate too many people. So, because the end was a little more gruesome than what happened. And there was another character. So we kind of omitted that character and played with a little bit. But the original story is kind of there. And then 2 and 3, we just kind of, we spitballed together. And then he wrote most of that. And by the third one, like, we changed a lot of things of how we were going to do it. Because we want to leave the door open too. Because like those characters aren't done. That story is, but the characters aren't. Like, we still want to go back. And in fact, you might see some of them in a different book at another point as well. So that's part of building that universe of cool stuff. And then again, like what I did with like Shot Over the Kraken, or you can't see it really because the pirate book, essentially the pirate book, I have some really cool elements in that too, where you're going to see, like, I put these Easter eggs for other books and other storylines and things that we're going to see later in the kind of universe that I'm building, because I wanted history in this realm. Like, we have our own history. We have, Roman history, Greek, whatever. I wanted to have something that feels more lived in.
Yeah.
So when we get to the other stories, it's going to make more sense too. You're going to see other things. City of Venus, I got a character in there that's kind of the first appearance of the character, but that's not where the character's main story is going to be. But the character's there, and I want people to be like, wait, what's going on here? I love that kind of those surprises, those fun things, but to build on something cool. And I also got that from Stan. So I met Stan Lee like 2 other times since high school, and that was the very last time I met him. It was at a C2E2, the comic convention in Chicago. And he stopped by, and he ended up buying original pieces from me. That was, to me, more important than even having worked for Todd. I was like the guy who got me to keep doing this. Yeah, bought originals from me, and it was mind blowing. So
that's a highlight, man. That's amazing.
And it came back around after he passed. So the guy who was with him, because he had like an entourage and people who were kind of helping him, because at the time, like, his sight was going a little bit. He had trouble hearing. But again, Stan is the one who stopped. He got a good look at all my stuff, and he's like, we need to buy pieces from this guy right now. And it was hard to hear him again. He was a little bit older. So I caught some of it. Later, I ended up finding out. So after he passed, the guy who retained all these original pieces and was working with his company, he was selling them on eBay. And one of my buddies, he's like, wait a minute. Because I was Googling it. I was looking for some of your originals. He goes, and I found this piece. He goes, isn't this the one that Stan bought? I said, yeah. I said, wait, who's selling this? He messages the guy. And the guy, he tells my buddy, without him letting anybody know, he told him the entire story of when Stan stopped by my table. Like, the guy remembered everything. And he gave me a message from Stan. And I got like a message from Beyond the Grave kind of going, this kid's work is amazing. We got to support him. It's guys like this that's going to keep the industry going. So that was incredible. And again, everything was verified. Everything was confirmed. And now my friend has the 2 pieces that Stan bought. One of my good friends has those pieces now. So I was like, my jaw hit the floor. Like, to have this full circle kind of thing, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like you had a fantastic creative career. Like you met some awesome people. You got some wonderful opportunities. You sold artwork, so people actually liked your work, your style.
Well, here's the craziest thing too. So with the good, there's also bad. I was actually supposed to work on Marvel Knights Spider-Man. I was talking to the editor. I was living in New York again at the time. And the top guy, Ralph Macchio, he contacted me because, Vinny, you could stop sending samples. I was like, I thought I pissed him off or something. And he's like, no, I want to try you on a book. I want you on this series. Yes. He told me, and I was like doing cartwheels. I was so excited.
Yeah,
so
man.
2 weeks before I signed the contract, and a lot of people early on who've had me on, and they've heard this story multiple times. Joe Quesada steps in, puts one of his friends on the book instead, and that editor, he called me up. He goes, I want to apologize. He goes, I had no control in this. because Joe, this is Joe's thing, the Marvel Knights. He goes, he's putting one of his friends. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm gonna tell you straight up, and that's what happened. So like my career got kneecapped because of people like that, shitty people, and then later on. Find out Joe also stole from me. He traced over some of my samples and put it into his Daredevil book. Yeah. There was a little bit of a confrontation at a toy fair as well, and he ran out of the building. Ran.
What?
Yeah. So.
Whoa. Yeah. I can understand that people tend to hire people within their network that they know that they like to work with. They know what they can get. So. That part I can get, but when they actually use material that you made without them paying for you, that's a different thing, right? And then you confronted him, you said?
Well, the full story. So I came into Toy Fair again. It's one of the after parties. He was a guest at this event. He was supposed to be a special guest. He was signing copies of his book. I think it was Sins of the Father, one of the Daredevil series that he was doing. And when I showed him some of my work, I had another brother too in the industry, a sculptor, and there was a piece that we all worked on, all three of us. I did the design, my brother sculpted it, and then he came in with because at the time he wasn't like official editor in chief. Like they kind of gave him a bullshit spot, but people hated him. Everyone knows this in the industry. Everyone hates Joe Quesada behind the scenes. He was actually working in the Toy Biz department because it wasn't Hasbro yet that picked them up at the time. So in the same building, I've been there. I've been to the bullpen. Half the Marvel kind of floor was the Toy Biz section, and half was the comic side. And Joe was doing designs and stuff for the toys because nobody wanted them in the comic book side of things. So anyway, this piece. He came in and had his little critiques or whatever. So on the box, they omitted my name. He demanded it, and they put designed by Joe Quesada instead. So, and at the time, the figure wasn't released yet. We had just done it all, and he's looking through the portfolio, and his hands start to tremble. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Like, I thought he had to go to the bathroom or something. So he closed up. He was, oh yeah, you could. And he started stammering and stuttering. Yeah, you could contact one of our editors, submissions editor. Yeah, you do pretty good work. And then he darted out. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it's right at the kind of beginning of this after party. But behind us was all the books. Nobody wanted them. He was signing them and he was handing them out to people, and nobody wanted these stupid things. So at the end of the night. And there was talk. Meanwhile, because the people who threw the party, they're like, "Where the f is Joe? We paid him a lot of money to be here. He demanded a personal limousine. He only lived a couple of blocks away. Like he wanted the star treatment. So, and this guy split right away. So they were super pissed. At the end of the day, like nobody wanted these things. So I grabbed one on the way out. I'm on the subway, flipping through it, and I start turning red. I see one of my drawings that I gave as a sample to none other than Kubert, Joe Kubert.
Yeah,
I had met him at Midtown Comics, famous comic shop in Manhattan, and he goes, "Kid, we're gonna find you some work. I love these samples." So he gave my samples to Joe Quesada personally, and Joe traced off of my work. So that's how I found out, was through this printed book, and I was like livid. That's why he ran out, because he knew if I turned around and picked up one of the books while he was still there, there'd be a big fight. At the very least, there'd be a big fight.
That is crazy, man.
Oh yeah,
absolutely nuts.
That's how the industry is, and that's why they said DC said we are not going to do another crossover with Marvel until he's fired. Fast forward, he got fired a year and a half ago or something. Or 2 years ago, and now they're doing big crossover events. Funny how that works.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating. But yeah. So yeah, it's a strange industry, strange little industry. Yep. So did your life, your creative career, kind of go how you hoped things would go back then?
Nope. Nope. Yeah, I had to pivot into a few different things, and I hated comics at that point. Like, yeah, not only that he helped destroy the industry, because like he's the one who brought in all the all the woke shit that ended up happening, all those editors, and from I had gathered the way that guy got his position, he screwed over another editor who was taking like a leave because his wife got sick. And then when the guy tried to come back, he didn't have a job to come back to, because in the meantime, Joe snuck his way into the movie side, kind of. He pissed those people off and got kicked out of that as well. Like, basically, he's like a little parasite throughout the industry. And again, any people who were behind the scenes who weren't friends with him, they all know. And he only had a handful of friends, to be quite honest. But yeah, and it's just dirty, because those are the type of people that did all this damage, and that's why things are still persisting to be that bad. Because then after Disney bought them, they're being paid government, and it gets into other stuff, but they're being told to push these agendas. So now they're happy to keep the bar very low. You have these longtime editors who are destroying everything. What's his name? Tom Brevoort. He just came out on an interview saying he's happy he made the fans angry. It's like,
yes,
all right, what's wrong with you? Like, Jim Shooter was one of the best people we had in the industry, because he cared about the books. He cared about the projects. We got trade paperbacks because of him. He cared on every level. And if you didn't have good things happening, you'd be fired off those books, because it's like, we need to keep the focus on the stories, on the characters. Let's make this thing good, not throw it away. And then you have, these kind of fake celebrity writers and artists who just ruin everything for their own bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of sometimes like they don't know anymore how to make stuff that appeals to people. So this is what they resort to. So kind of that you get something, that you get some reaction. It's better than apathy.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy how everything turned out. And then like the guys who went over to do Image, they kind of pulled the ladder up. Like, they had their boom years, and then afterwards they didn't really care anymore, and they just started pulling the ladder up instead of helping more people. It's just, okay, we're making our big money. We got movie and TV things sort of in the pipeline. Who sold their company and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't care anymore. And that's the sad thing. No one kind of grabbed the hand of the new creators, the new generation, and eased them into this. Like, all right, this is what we have to do. Because the old time guys were doing that. You had, what do you call it? Jack Kirby. He was at those convention scenes for a long time early on. And he was grabbing all those guys by the hand, and they were all talking with each other. He helped all of them. Your John Buscema's. He helped train a lot of those guys too who were coming in, and like, this is how we have to work. This is the flow. This is what we need to do. And that didn't happen anymore. It became like egos and who's better than who wants to steal what artist from what company, and all the horse shit, because I was towards the tail end of it. I was working, with McFarlane, and I saw a lot of that stuff too. And, that's where I learned a lot about these people in the industry. And how friendships kind of went out the window, or who had a fake friendship just to put on the face for the fans. And a whirlwind of shit. I'm like, could we go back to the old way? Could we go back to actually making comics and stories that people love? Because that's where I came from with all this stuff,
Yeah, I know, man. It's Pop says, good to see you, Vinny. Preach, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but maybe if all of that didn't happen and you got hired to make books, you would never have made City of Venus that city, because you maybe wouldn't have been forced to go indie. Was that something you wanted from the beginning?
It is something I always wanted. I always wanted to tell my own stories. So It wasn't even that I was forced into the indies. I was going to do it regardless. I would have still liked to work on those bigger companies for sure. Like, I've had a couple of mild successes. I did some redesigns for Spider-Man for Toy Biz around that time too, back then, when I was still doing design work for, toy companies and stuff. Like, there were some things I ended up doing, and it was cool to see. Like, I have lines of figures I've designed, which is awesome. I've had other covers and things. Like, I worked at Image. I did a couple of covers for Hack and Slash. Like, I've done some things, a series of those political covers I did, because I was good with portraits, and those hit worldwide. Like I literally, I was on CNN, MSNBC, like I did interviews in these places. So like I still had, you know, a bit of a spotlight on me at times, but I didn't really care so much about that stuff. I really wanted to like get awesome stories and artwork out there for people. So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
City of Venus, that's a story that I came up with when I was in high school. So and I just kind of evolved it over the years, you know. I went back and went, you know, I still love this story, but let's fine tune it. Let's make it even cooler. And that's kind of what I did, and super proud of this series.
Yeah, man.
It's killer.
Mike says the new motto for the 21st century in general, can we go back to the old way? Yeah. Ernest says, let's go back to the 90s. Yes. Mike says, onwards to this campaign for some kind of warped sci-fi Argnedo story.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. The whole thing, it's funny too, because people go, Vinny, did you predict the future at some point? I'm like, because this story was basically like if the evil people who are kind of destroying the world right now, if they got their way. So it's set very far into the future, and almost everything is destroyed, and they literally separated themselves from the rest of the world. You know, there's a floating city where the elite basically, like, that's where their home is.
Right.
Yeah, and everything else is kind of like just destruction. So, but then we have, you know, my main character who comes into it, and for those who, if they picked up the first story, they kind of know. Like, I throw the reader into the main story with the main character, like you're learning it with her as you're kind of going along.
Right.
So because she doesn't recognize where she came from. She woke up on a rooftop, doesn't know how she got there, doesn't recognize this world, and kind of follows someone that she sees.
Our comics have something in common in that regard. I have the same thing with a starting with the starting scene. The character doesn't know who she is, where she is, what's happening, and then the reader just follows along.
Nice, right? Great minds.
Yes, yeah, man. Shall we start with watching the trailer, or if it's something you want to? Yeah,
let's go for it.
All right, let's do this.
City of Venus. Dead City. The city named after Venus, the goddess of love. This city was designed to lure people here as a false hope. Many thought that they would be welcomed, able to rebuild and grow our world with new technologies and love for one another. At one point in time, it did seem to be working. It was almost genuine. Almost.
Genuine.
It's now more appropriately known as Dead City. After the wars, chemical fallout, and experimentation on its people, this once modern marvel is now a wasteland. Survivors of all kinds stay hidden, most of which made their home under the city, void of electrical tech that can be shut down by those in power. Many survivors develop their own untraceable power sources to better hide from the governing and policing eyes of the select few in the floating city called Venus. The floating city in the sky houses the top of the world's most powerful and intelligent people. Although the scientists and engineers are rumored to be more like slaves, creating and prolonging the lives of the ultra-elite in whatever monstrous ways they can. It's done by breaking the laws of science and nature. Much like the story of how the city came to be, suspended in the sky. The wars and plagues brought on by man were created and brewing for centuries. As technology grew, it became easier to separate the rich from the poor. Population control was in effect, and its main killer throughout history was, and still is, war. The first massive war that set the destruction of the world into motion hundreds of years ago was the discovery of a new crystal-based element, coveted by all, centridium. It was envisioned to be used as a new and everlasting power source. Its first and only discovery was here, in this very city.
Cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'm happy you enjoyed it. It took me months to put that trailer together.
Oh, you made that? Yeah?
Yeah, I did the whole thing, except for the music. Great. Shout out to my friend Tolbat, a.k.a. the Lizard King. He came up with the music. So
great. Mike says, and what a trailer. I don't think I've seen a more cinematic trailer for a comic. Mission well
Thank you. Thank you so
accomplished.
much.
And he says the women by Vinny are a major reason why you wanted to have him on your stream, right? Well, yeah, of course, man. You can't deny, Vinny, that your female anatomy is just spot on.
Thank you, man.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
They're fun to draw.
Absolutely. There's a reason you're because I think all your books so far had female leads, correct?
Well, not Shadow of the Kraken. Shadow of the Kraken is our main character it's a male character, and
okay.
But there's a female in there too. She's a big part of the story.
Yeah,
but I try to find like a good balance, and it's almost like a slap in the face to the people that said that you can't have a female as lead. Like, why not? You know, I like strong chicks. I like, you know, ones that you could actually sink your teeth into a good story and have fun with. You know, I grew up like on John Byrne's She-Hulk, you know, stuff like that. Sure. But also I love, again, you know, our classic characters, our Wolverines, our Spider-Mans, Batman. So like I have a lot of stuff going on, and it is, like I said, a bigger universe. So it just so happened that yes, some of these characters, yeah, they happen to be females on like two of the stories. But, yeah.
Mike says this is tragically some AI voiceover, not actually some hot English actors, right?
Yeah, I tried having like regular American. It didn't sound as good. I thought the English one sounded a lot better, but again, I don't have the funds to hire people to do this stuff. That's why I did it all on my own. So tragically or not, like that's the only time I'm using AI is in kind of like advertisement, because everything else is me. And the time it takes to do this stuff is a lot, because I'm drawing it, writing it, inking it, coloring it, lettering it, fulfilling, you know, and I fulfilled all my projects on time. This is the 9th campaign I've done on 2 different platforms. So
that's great.
Yep. And everything's on time. This is completed. This is 96 pages, because I decided I'm just going to put issue 1 in with this, because issue 2 is more than double the size of the first one. And I figured it's a newer audience too on Kickstarter. It's been a minute since people got the first one, because I have been genre jumping. Again, 1, to keep it fresh, and 2, because I do have these other stories that I want to tell, and you'll start to see how they all connect. So yeah, we had Venus, Through the Woods, Shadow of the Kraken, Back to Venus 2. I got another project that's half the pencils have been finished for a while with my brother. Another one we kind of were working on together. After that, it's probably going to be Shadow of the Kraken 2, I think. So because people really they were super excited with that pirate story. And yeah, that's another thing that I love, you know, getting to tell these really good stories. And I made sure that people were going to get a chance to get those other books if they missed them. So I put them on this campaign as well. And so let's say you want Shadow of the Kraken. If you're down for a pirate story, at checkout you could add on City of Venus. So I made sure City of Venus was going to be the add-on for any and all those projects.
Right.
And it's crazy too, because I had to switch at the 11th hour to go on Kickstarter. Indiegogo was becoming massively problematic.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know. I've sworn off Indiegogo for now. I'm just I'm done with it.
Yeah, the new owners, they destroyed it.
This is what's your process for a cover like this? So you think of the theme, you sketch it out. How long does it take you?
This one maybe the pencils took half a day to a full day. Inks took about the same, and then the colors, which maybe all in all, from like for the one piece, maybe a full week to go from pencils to color.
Oh,
but
really?
again, I work sporadically too, because I only have a certain amount of time in the day to actually get more of the work done, because the other responsibilities and things I need to do. But that's why, yeah, they take about a week, depending. When I'm in the flow with the pages, some of it could be anywhere from like 2 or 3 days, from like pencils to full color. It really depends, and you know how much of a good groove I'm going in. This one, I took my time to really kind of figure out what I wanted, because I wanted to show both the beauty and that, the juxtaposition of the destruction of this world as well, and how she could be the salvation. She could also be something that could destroy the world entirely even further. Like, I have this kind of twist element that's going to be in the story, and I think it's a lot of fun, because each issue that I'm going to be doing, it gets bigger. The story gets bigger. The villains, like everything. So yeah, you're going to learn a lot more about the character in this book. It's kind of in chunks. I got surprises, some flashback stuff, some others. Like, there is a lot going on. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So because you do everything from writing up until the colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sometimes need to write while you draw to keep the project moving?
A little bit. Some of it will evolve. So I'll have like the main story kind of written down. I know the full, like where I want to be by the end of the issue. So in between, I give myself a little bit of leeway where I could play around a bit. So like if I go, all right, this is looking really cool, this is fun, I want more action over here. So then I'll kind of carve out a little bit of a scenario that maybe I'll make it bigger, or something I wasn't initially going to do but could still work for the story. So like I give myself enough room where I could kind of play with it and make sure that the beats of the story are going to stay really good, because you want the roller coaster, right? You want the calm, you want the action, you want to come back down a little bit, so that way people stay interested throughout. And that's kind of the approach to with the trailer, because a lot of people go, oh, we'll just do a sizzle reel. I wanted to do something that was more like, a cinematic thing. Like, here's a trailer to a movie kind of approach. And that's why I have like the voiceover. So everything in that narration is actually in the inside flap of the book. And I just it was in the original one too. And I tweaked it a little bit to make it flow even better. So yeah, because I want people to have a taste of the world before they jump fully into the story. And I think I accomplished it. A lot of people have been telling me that they love it. So I'll call that a win.
Yeah. Because you are the artist, I can imagine that you maybe sometimes you have this visual and you have to write a scene to get the visual in. Does that happen?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I could already see it in my head. Other times, as I'm writing it, it'll start to kind of pop out. Yeah, it kind of depends on the page. And there's certain ones too where I have a cool vision, and then when I'm at the drawing board, if I'm not just feeling it, I'll play around with angles and things, and then I'll make it even more dramatic or even cooler. And so yeah, it's a little bit of a process, but it still flows, I think, pretty nicely.
Yeah. So look at this body, man.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
man.
So how did you learn this? How did you get to this level of artistry?
Well, it's a lot of different things. So a lot of people, they learned off of comics. At first I did, and then I came to a point where I just kind of didn't look at comic books at all and just wanted to learn proper anatomy. I started studying the masters as well, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, stuff like that. I love Renaissance stuff. Frazetta was the perfect blend, because it was almost like Renaissance artist meets more, something that's closer to realism as well, but yet the fantasy elements are so there. Conan was a big inspiration. I love Conan. So, and again, he's known for doing all those covers and things. And yeah, I bought his original. He had like the 3 or 4. There was the big Frazetta books. There was Legacy, Icon. It was like 25, almost 30 years ago. And I was really studying those in a big way, because I love what Frazetta had. Because what he brought to the table was telling a story with a single image.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it wasn't just, you didn't have to do full sequentials to understand what was going on. Like, you look at that cover and be like, oh my God, like, Conan is in peril, but he's not showing any fear. He's going to take out this creature, this horde of guys, and that was the fun element of it. So I purposely wanted to make sure my realism would get there. And then I peppered back in some of the things I loved about comic books. So I ended up developing this style when I started to teach myself how to color on the computer. And I had the approach where it was like pencils to color, and I skipped out inks. And then later on, I'm like, no, I love inking as well. I love like the deep, rich blacks and the balance that you could have on a page, and it helps with composition. So I started developing a style where the line work was super, super clean. And then I have my color elements that make it pop even further. So that's kind of like the process I had. But yeah, I love a nice, clean looking page, very slick. And that's kind of why I print at the quality I do as well. So it's kind of like how I'm working. It's super crystal clear on a computer. I want to make sure people get that same quality on the pages. So yeah, there's very little that kind of is different, because you'll see the people who go like with the cheaper paper, and it doesn't look as good or as crisp. And I'm not throwing shade or nothing, but I know certain people have certain things they want to do with their books or the funding and whatever. I always try to come as close as I could to the top quality, and as long as the support is there, you guys are going to get the top quality. That's always my goal with these projects.
Yeah. I love these little poses. Look at this. I especially love this page right here. Wait, this one. Every pose is just, it has movement, it has grace. So these characters, they have like this feminine sensuality going on, right?
For sure. Yep.
And that's really difficult to capture in a
yeah. For me, it was really important because it's those little nuances, those little moments of how they tilt the head or a hip or whatever.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing that, like, so from the realism to the comic book side of things, like studying like John Buscema, somebody like that, you learn that those little bits help a lot, or how you move a hip in a certain direction and you put like the shoulders on a certain angle. It's going to be more dramatic. It's going to be more interesting on the page. Like you said, it's going to capture like the personality of the character, because our main character, Jessica, the one with the longer coat and the blue and white top, she's basically she's like a curious kid kind of thing. She doesn't know what the hell she came into. And the one with the red coat, like, she grew up in this world of destruction. So she's more like on that paranoid kind of mentality. And, we don't have normal people just walking around on the surface. If she hears something, it's going to be danger. It's going to be some kind of a monster, some kind of hybrid of something, so like those are the aspects I was playing around with. And as the stories unfold, you'll see those dangers. You'll see the science elements.
I love it.
I'll get more into how this world got the way that it is. But then I also have these heroic moments too that are going to happen in the book. So yeah, it's a lot going on, but hopefully you guys stay with this journey with me, because I promise you, it's high quality stuff.
So these vehicles, or do you design these beforehand, or do you immediately draw them on the page and that's the design you go with?
It depends. Something like that. Like, I had a couple of loose drawings. I kind of loosely knew what I wanted to do, but because again, this world, it's a mix of old and like futuristic sci-fi type stuff. So I try to find that balance. As you can see, like these cities, because there's been so many wars over the decades and stuff, and even over the centuries. So it's kind of layered where they tried to rebuild and then they get destroyed again. So you'll have a mix of things that look kind of old and stuff that looks kind of new. Yeah. But then you have the floating city that they have. They're supposed to be the top of the top. So they're going to have specific things, But you're also going to see during the course of the story, there's some cracks in the surface. Not everything is as perfect as we think it is with the powers that be, with these elite, nasty people.
Right. Okay, let's see. You have some stretch goals set up. You're now at 4K, which is awesome.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. By the way, guys, the link to this campaign is below the video. It's also pinned in the chat right there. So go help get this campaign to 5K, so you all get this wonderful print. Wait, this print right here.
Yeah, like I said, we're getting closer to it. Yeah, we do.
That's a very 90s robot, by the way. You saw these in the Image comics,
There's not many that I really gravitated towards, to be honest. Like back in the day, there's only a couple of books I was getting when it came to when they went to Image. Like, things were too many pouches and shit, and I wasn't like it
Yeah.
bothered me. Like I'm like it doesn't even make any sense.
I
But
love this, man. But the way the metal is rendered and the designs, it's
thank
very
you.
90s, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a little. I'd say definitely like Bart Sears kind of flair.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like I love the way that he was doing certain things too, and
Cool, man.
yeah,
Great.
like some of those aspects for sure.
All right, then you have some more stretch goals ready.
Yeah, yeah. The big one is if we could hit 15K, I want to throw a brand new book in there for you guys too. It's an ash can that's
Wow.
basically going to be loaded with my other sketches, drawings, inked pages, because a lot of people love my line work, and because it's very clean, very crisp, and yeah, I want to kind of showcase that for you guys as well. Plus other
That is
cool
awesome.
surprises and sketches.
So this means is if you hit 15K, people get this extra book with their order.
Yep, they get that, the prints,
That's
whatever we
great.
unlock. Basically, they'll get it all for free on top of their order.
That's phenomenal.
Yep.
All right, then we have some your earlier works, Through the Woods.
Yep, I want to give people a chance for that. So there's only 100 left of the hardcover. Well, less than now, but yeah. So I want to make sure people get a chance. So if you're looking for a completed story, just to get like a feel of the type of storytelling that we do, and how sucked in you could be with all this stuff, I think that's a perfect one to get. And again, I kept the price the same as what it was in the previous campaigns. So you get this beautiful hardcover book with an ash can and the bookmark, all for $55 plus shipping. So
That's
you
great.
can't really beat that. And then on add-on, you could put City of Venus. So
All right.
at the very least, you could get at least 2 of my books, on this campaign.
Yeah, this is the book that I have. This is really awesome. All right,
Thank
and
you, man.
then we have the collected edition, Through the Woods.
Yep.
That's this. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kelsey Shannon he won the art contest I was running at the time, so he got the cover for the ash can. So, yeah, the little sketchbook.
Fantastic. Look at this, guys.
Yep.
Look at this art. It's just wonderful.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah, I love this panel also. The size difference, I love that.
Yeah, again,
The
he's
huge guy.
very imposing. Yeah, because a lot of people, it's like, who's the main character of the book? It's kind of split a little bit. I mean, we follow Laura, the investigative journalist, but once you see Jack pop up, yeah, he's very imposing. He's sort of the main foundation of this.
Yeah, I love it. Cool stuff.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, cool. Shadow of the Kraken.
Yep.
There we go.
That's the pirate one. Yeah, that one's 52 pages, perfect bound. Another beautiful book. And this one is like, I have those aspects that I loved about history. We're gonna have pirates from history in this series as well.
Right. Yeah, you have to do a lot of research for a story.
Oh yeah.
Like right?
I've always been a big fan of the pirate world and all that. So, and then having my characters kind of intertwine with all of it. And like that skull that you see that he's holding, and what's on the cover too. It's like there's a coded map that's kind of carved all into that skull.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, you could read the map and on the skull and know where you're going. No, it's also coded. So they had to decipher it in order to find out where the hell this thing is leading to and everything else. So there's bigger mysteries in this project. The main characters are doing heroic things as well, but there's those big twists. And since it's a pirate story, expect betrayal, action, hot women, these threats that are above and below the ocean, like
Jaws.
There's a lot going on.
Holy shit, it's gruesome.
Yeah, I remember when I first launched this one and RT Bear was covering it. He was looking at it. He was like, "Holy shit, Vinny, that must have taken you forever to do."
Yeah, this gruesome stuff.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah,
you don't shy away from the violence.
No. I try to find a good balance with it, but
yeah,
when it's there, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, nice color work.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, these designs they look good, man.
Thank you. There's our villain.
This guy is cool. So when you design this character, do you do you know beforehand what you want, or does it take you time to actually find the character before you can use it?
It depends. Once I start writing them and kind of like how they're speaking, how they're thinking, like I could kind of get like a visual of them in my head. There's certain elements that I definitely wanted. So as long as they were there to make the character stand out, that's kind of the approach I guess I went with.
Make women great again, says Marinus.
Yes.
Oh, and the Madness has a new X account. What happens to the old one? The Mac TV. Go follow it, guys. Go follow the Madness Entertainment Group.
Yeah, and anybody, if you guys want me on streams and stuff, yeah, just reach out to me because like I'm not really, I haven't been in those circles in a minute, so yeah, not a lot of people know what's going on, and vice versa. You know, I seen only things in passing and like the really over the top stupid shit. Like I don't care about. I care about the cool stories. You know, the good people who deliver.
Well, you disappear for some time and then you're back with a completely drawn book. So, you know,
well, I didn't fully disappear. Like I still have my channel. I'm doing my tour reviews. You know, I got cool hangout streams on Sundays and stuff. And yeah, it's Friday is always kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes we'll talk crazy shit, like what's going on in the world. Other times we'll cover some topical things. Or lately, I want to get back into showcasing some creators too. You know, and again, you should be popping on this week too. So that's also a good thing.
Yeah. Look forward to it, man. Look at this. Yeah. Spawn in your style.
Yep.
Badass.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't drawn that character in forever, so
yeah.
I had done it for a contest. Everyone wanted me to do it. They're like, "Are you gonna jump in on Todd's contest?" I'm like, I guess. I didn't intend on it, but a lot of people kind of pressured me. And I'm like, screw it. And he picked someone who used AI. That's who won his contest.
Yeah, that's I heard about that.
Yeah, so.
That's
there you go.
Ridiculous.
Further proof he doesn't pick shit. It was all publicity stuff.
Did he know, or was it just he couldn't see it, or what?
He ultimately he doesn't really make those decisions. To be quite honest, it was like a PR thing.
Mm.
I let people know that, but I'm like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
God damn.
But yeah, these are some of the pieces you'll see in the actual art books. Because the art books are pretty massive. I have one where I collected volumes 1 and 2 together. Mm-hmm. So that one's 140 pages. And then I have volume 3, that's 64 pages.
Wow.
So yeah, the art books are, the only way to get them are kind of on the same tier together because it's so limited. I only have 25 copies left. Same with Shot of the Kraken. I only have 25 copies of those. So if you do want them, I suggest jumping on it sooner rather than later. But yeah. There's a little bit of everything in there.
Guys, you can check out this campaign. There's a lot to look at, man. You put a lot. Oh, I love this.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the cover to volume 3.
Beautiful posing. Love that, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the Joker, by the way. That's the Joker that Stan Lee bought. Yeah, I took Batman out so I could put sketches and drawings to kind of do like a little promo thing. But I have Batman in the background on the building. But yeah, that's one of the ones that Stan had originally bought, and that my friend ended up getting.
Pop says, "Drop your X, Vinny." Guys, the Vinny's link tree is also below this video, so you can find him everywhere.
Yeah, it's at Vinnie Art. How you see my name written on screen in my profile. It's yeah, pretty much any social media you can find me on there.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice looking Emma Frost.
Thanks. Yeah, and I did Brian Kriskow's 6-Gun Gorilla, Chris Fisk with his character from Infinitel Chronicles. So
yeah,
a lot of cool stuff, and I got great Easter eggs too, because that piece I did for Chris, it's the book that's written in that kind of in that language, that Elven language, and I did a throwback to Evil Dead that's written in his language.
Pops asks, have you done a coloring book for young artists, kids?
No, I haven't. I've not done that. I re-released a kid book at one point, The Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill, which is basically like the story of these 3 little monsters on Halloween night who sneak out of their uncle's castle to get free candy down in the village, and they get found out for being actual monsters. So yeah, that was a fun little story. But again, we try to do something for everyone, basically.
You
know.
There you are.
Yep.
All right, Risk. Awesome. This is Well, it's fantastic, and the book
Thank you.
is done, right? So people
Yep.
can back it. They know that that it's done. You always
Absolutely.
deliver.
Ready for print.
Yeah, you have your track record, so people know it's good. It's
Hell yeah.
good. Guys, go back this campaign or share it out on social media. Get some other eyes on it. Are people out there who may never heard of City of Venus, Dead City before, so they need to. So go share it
Thank you,
out.
brother. Yep. Word of mouth is super important, especially to us creators. You know, the indie scene it's very different than when it was a couple of years ago. So yeah, any help that you could do, any promotions, always a good thing. And yeah, like I said, I'm willing to jump on whoever's channel. Let me know. Reach out to me, follow me, and I'll follow you back.
By the way, do you still have time to do commission work for other?
Oh
other
yeah,
comics?
absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
finished the book, so I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready for some commissions and things.
Okay, cool. So people can reach out to you. So if you need a wonderful cover done or some sexy lady drawn, just reach out to Mr. Vinnie, and he'll get it done for you.
Absolutely.
He'll get it done. Awesome campaign, awesome artwork. Everything is cool, and you have 41 days to go. So you can let's get you to 15K. Right?
Absolutely. And like I said, here some of the books, again, proof that they're books that are done, ready to go. Here's the well, again, it's hard to see because of the stupid green.
Yeah.
But I know because of the glare. Funny.
Yeah, basically everything people see on the campaign is finished.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The only one that's not printed yet is City of Venus, the collected edition, because obviously we need the funds to go to the printer on that. But
yes,
but yeah, we're ready, folks. We're ready.
Fantastic, excellent. All right, guys. Before we close, we went over the hour because we had so much to talk about at the showcase. But before we close off, guys, I have my own thing going on. Let me show you for a moment. Wait, stop the screen. Yes, and then we go to the next one, and then share the screen, and we share this one right here. Because, guys, you can go to also on Kickstarter. We have the Perfection Collection trade paperback, which collects the first 6 issues of Perfect 10. We finished issue 6. I have it right here. It's printed. It's done. It's completed. You know. So we decided to release the Perfection Collection alongside issue 6 because why wait?
Nice.
This is at least 192 pages. Plus we have some extra stuff. You get like all the variant covers you can find in there. We have some extra scenes, maybe, you know, you never know, guys, what's going to happen. So if you like superhero stuff, like quality, vibrant art, spectacular, like adventures and action, this might be something for you. And just like your story, Vinnie, this also starts with a girl who doesn't know who she is, where she is. She wakes up in this world filled with superheroes and supervillains. She has to fight for her life. And she has to figure out what her role is in this world, right?
Nice.
It's really cool. It's non-stop action, 6 issues of non-stop action. And finally, in issue 6, things slow down. And it's so good, guys. It's drawn by Paul Rodriguez. He also drew like Justice League and drew Wolverine. And for some reason, I got so lucky to work with him. And he brought on the colorist Daniel Rodriguez. So these two guys, they work together all the time, and look at the quality that they deliver. It's so good. And this, I'm really proud of this story. You know, with indie comics, you never know. You have a lot of number ones within the indies, and after that, it's very difficult to keep momentum going. But people really loved this series. So you helped us make this series, guys. So issue 6 completes the first story arc of this series. Look at this. This is just one panel. This is part of a
nice. It's a great looking book for sure.
Yeah,
excellent stuff.
I got really lucky with Pao. He's so good. And so we introduced some new characters. So this character I kind of created while I was writing. I had this complete backstory for him also. It's really nuts how these things go. And this design was a design I made when I was 16, and finally it was put into the book. Really cool. Right.
Awesome.
The cover for the Perfection Collection, guys, specifically made for this trade paperback. You can get it in trade or hardcover. It's published through Critical Blast, the United States. They take care of everything. They will print it. They will distribute it. Everything.
Nice.
These are the 6 issues that are in there. You get some previews from the previous books. We have crazy characters, all kinds of superpowers. You have this elaborate story going on, and Ten has to figure out what's going on. What's so she knows as much as you do, as the reader. This is we have wonderful double page spreads.
Mm-hmm.
The colors are really popping. You have, it's and with this campaign, POW is offering a personal commission. So any character you want, he will draw for you. Can be your own character, can be mainstream, can be Jamieverse, whatever. And you can use it for anything you want. You get the high-res scan, and you get the original art sent to your home. And we get some freebies like bookmarks and stuff. You can check out the campaign. We have a lot on here, guys. Go check it out. We also have digitals. If you want to support the campaign, you can get a digital copy. All right, we move.
Beautiful.
The link, guys, is below. Oh, and I will put it in the chat. One sec before I forget. I always forget that, guys. So put it in the chat right now.
It's all good. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having you on. Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Dave will be on my channel. So we're going to be covering his book. And like I said, I'm happy to showcase good people. And clearly, and you're great. I know I have the first issue. It's somewhere. I moved like a couple of years ago, and I know I have a whole box of like the indie stuff that I want to get through. But it looks awesome, and happy to at least support it, at least one of them. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
It's a wild time right now. We're gonna do whatever we could to help one another.
A lot of launches this month also.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that. But yeah, guys, even if you can't afford it, at least grab the links, get them out there, let people know. And tonight I'm running a stream too. It's gonna be like a hangout stream. We're continuing Ash versus Evil Dead season 1. So if you want to come out, it's a watch party essentially. I dropped the link so people can take a look as well. But guys, thank you so much. It's been a blast, Dave.
Yeah, it's been it was very nice to talk to you. Looking forward to Friday also. Nikandros, welcome. He says, just found out about you guys from the post about Safeguard on Twitter. In terms of that first impression, the art and character designs are goated. Hype. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Let's see if I missed anything. I don't think so. Guys, first off, Vinnie, thank you for being my guest today. Showing us your wonderful books and your campaign, and good luck with it, sir.
A pleasure, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and everyone who came out to watch, and anyone who watches on the replay, many thanks.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for being here, for being with us. If you like this conversation, please give it a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike, and I'm very sorry. I'll be back next Friday on Vinnie's channel, and Sunday afterwards with a brand new guest. So same channels, same time, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Take it easy, everybody.
See you. Bye.